Right now, the U.S. has more confirmed cases of the deadly coronavirus than any other country in the world, surpassing even China and Italy. There are more than 85,000 Americans testing positive. More than 1,000 have died. Nearly 3.3 million Americans applied for unemployment benefits last week. That's more than 5 times the previous record. President Trump praised the Senate for its unanimous passage of a $2 trillion stimulus bill to give economic relief from the outbreak, and he wants the House to do the same.
I'm profoundly grateful that both parties came together. The House of Representatives must now pass this bill, hopefully without delay.
The House will vote on that spending bill later today. Big developments locally in the pandemic. Governor Hogan orders daycare centers to close by the end of today, but there's an exception to the order. It doesn't apply to places offering care to essential workers. This comes as we saw the biggest increase to date of cases here. There are at least 580 patients with the virus here in Maryland. Our team coverage begins with Mike Hsu, live with reaction to the daycare decision. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Max. Word of these closures took many providers and parents by surprise, wondering what they're going to do now.
Where do we register? What are we supposed to do? How are we going to get paid?
Those are just a few of the many questions worrying Baltimore City daycare owner Tammy Witherspoon.
We have a lot of unanswered questions that we need answered now.
Her child care center is but one of thousands ordered closed by the end of the day today.
Right now, my plan is to open on Monday for essential personnel.
The superintendent of schools, Dr. Karen Salmon, says that the state has designated certain child care providers which can stay open. But even that is confusing to this mom.
I could take her to daycare tomorrow, but then I don't know after that.
Her daycare provider isn't on the list, and she doesn't know if they'll stay open, even though her own job is deemed essential.
I have a letter from my job saying that I'm essential.
Child care centers can reopen Monday if they care for the children of essential workers only, conduct a thorough cleaning, and get approval from the state. Daycare that is provided by friends, family, and neighbors is still allowed if there are fewer than 5 children.
Now, it's helpful to know there are 93 providers that are offering free state-supported health care to those who are deemed essential personnel. Now, we have that list up right now on our website, WJZ.com. I'm Mike Hsu reporting live from Lutherville for WJZ.
Mike, thank you. As the case count grows, we're learning 3 Baltimore City first responders test positive for the virus. Let's bring in Amy Quada. She's reporting on how the city is responding. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning, Max. That's right. 2 EMS providers with the Baltimore City Fire Department and 1 police officer have tested positive for COVID-19. And now the city is launching an investigation into how they contracted the virus and whether they transmitted it to anyone else.
We all owe them a debt of gratitude.
Outside City Hall Thursday, Mayor Jack Young, together with the Baltimore City Police Commissioner, Fire Chief, and Health Commissioner, announced 2 EMS providers with the fire department and 1 police officer are now recovering after they tested positive for coronavirus. City officials saying that once they became symptomatic, they immediately isolated at home.
The moment the officer was made aware of potential exposure, the officer self-quarantined and has been quarantined now for well over a week.
Commissioner Michael Harrison says the Baltimore police officer is now resting at home and in good spirits. And 1 of the EMS providers is in the hospital, while the other remains quarantined at home. Now, these city organizations are working together to trace these individuals' whereabouts inside and outside of their respective departments.
These investigations allow the health department to determine who the individual may have come into contact with and to inform those contacts so that they can quarantine themselves and take the necessary precautions to limit the spread of the virus.
And the health commissioner says first responders are at an increased risk of contracting contagious diseases like COVID-19 because they are on the front lines dealing with sick patients. And as for the condition on the first responders, we're told that all 3 are recovering and are feeling much better. Reporting live from City Hall this morning, I'm Amy Quada for WJZ.
Amy, thank you. Let's bring in WJZ investigator Mike Helgren. He reports on the latest effort hoping to prevent this virus from spreading.
One of the newest drive-up coronavirus testing sites in Maryland is inside this tent at Baltimore's Museum of Industry. MedStar Health is operating the site and chose this location because of a large number of referrals from this zip code.
We have personal protection equipment for all of our staff. We have gowns, we have respirator, face masks, we have goggles and face shields, we have gloves.
This testing site will be open 7 days a week. It is by referral only, so you can't just drive up and expect to get a test.
So I think the key here is that these would be pre-screened patients because we want to ensure that they meet criteria for testing.
Maryland reported a record 580 cases statewide Thursday, but they are not releasing testing numbers.
For anybody who wants to get a test, it is very difficult.
Baltimore's Kara Ober spoke to us on FaceTime. She's had symptoms for almost 2 weeks and was hospitalized.
There's a lot of people who are very, very sick and having to wait until their symptoms get really bad.
She had to wait 8 days for a test and still does not have the results.
If I have any of the symptoms, I should be able to have a test, and I should be able to get results within a reasonable amount of time.
The other major issue is unemployment. Nationwide, claims have soared to more than 3 million from 281,000 the previous week and well above the previous record of 695,000.
We understand the frustrations from Marylanders because systems are crashing. The wait times are longer than normal.
In Maryland, claims rose to more than 42,000, an almost 1,000% increase from the week before.
We are receiving thousands of claims every single day.
Those unemployment numbers do not even reflect most of this week. Baltimore County leads in claims statewide. In South Baltimore, Mike Helgren, WJZ.
Nearly 900,000 students will have to learn online for at least another month. So that means school districts are trying to find the best ways to teach students. In Baltimore City, the district is putting material on its website for some 79,000 students. The question they're trying to answer, how do you teach students online when some kids don't have internet access?
We are exploring ideas with internet providers and partners who are really trying to work with us to think creatively about ways to support wireless access.
The district says they'll do surveys online, over the phones, or even at the city's food distribution sites to find families who may need help getting internet access. They're also working on getting Chromebooks to students, but seniors and juniors will have priority.